Hi, this is Fisayo, and I am extremely excited to debut my next series called, drumroll please, Ask a Pharmacy Leader. Woo! But wait, I don't want to see your reaction. Not those questions. I'm kidding. No, these are questions that you would ask, professional questions that you would ask a pharmacy director, a healthcare leader, pharmacy leader. I got the idea just because I've been getting questions for a really long time, for years. I've been in pharmacy 14 years altogether. I've been a pharmacist and a leader. And ever since I've been a pharmacist, really, I've been getting questions. Even more so after I became a director. And so I wanted to create this, dialogue and talk about some of the things that people have asked me, because I know there are other people out there that are that are asking the same questions, and some of these questions come up several times, right? Several times that I've been asked by so many people, the people that know me at least. And so I wanted to put this out there. By the way, that's my podcast playing in the background. If you haven't subscribed, go check it out. Highlighting Greatness, shameless plug. But I really am excited about this because I I think it'll be just a good way to create dialogue, really, amongst pharmacists, amongst healthcare professionals, and just really create something that I don't see out there, that I don't think is out there, that I haven't come across out there, and something that I can speak to from my area of expertise and from my perspective, just because this is even over the weekend, a couple of days yesterday, I got a question. A few days ago, got the same question. And so I will attempt to answer all of your questions. Please send them in, reach out, and let's get this ball rolling. Now, without further ado, on to our first question. First and the most common question that I get is, how do I get into hospital? Even as far back as I've been getting that question since months into when I got into a hospital initially, almost 5 years ago. Months into it, I was getting that question. And even as recently as maybe 6 weeks ago, someone reached out to me again asking me that. And so I get it quite a bit. One of the first things that I told one of my good friends who asked me that question, who we both went to the same school, we both graduated together. I guess the advice that I gave him was to reach out to the hospitals where he did his rotations, keep in contact with them. If he made a good enough impression there, there's a good chance and a good likelihood that they would consider him should a position open up, because they already know him. They invested in him. And so it would be safe for them to bring him back on board. I know people, thinking back to my rotations, I know guys who did the bulk, or if not all of their rotations at one particular hospital because they wanted to end up there. They wanted to get into that residency program at that hospital. They wanted to end up working there. I know several guys who did that. So that was my first advice. And so even going to students, pharmacy students, who are looking to, looking into the future, starting to think about where you'd like to practice, I would say keep in mind, wherever it is you want to practice, try to pick your rotations based on that. And while you're there, do as good a job as you can, and they will remember you. And I know people that got hired or got matched into residency that way. That's a very good way to get into wherever you want to go. Literally, these people, they're still friends of mine. I got to the rotation site, and they are there for, I think I did maybe like 3 rotations at this hospital, great hospital. But these dudes were there for like 6 or the entirety of their rotations, you know. At this point, by the time I got there, like they had ran laps around the place, and you know. But so that's a very good way. That's a really, really, really good way to definitely get them to know you, you know them. And if you work your tail off, definitely they will want to bring you on board. If, you know, for whether it's a residency or hire you flat out when they have a position available. So that's probably my earliest piece of advice, and you can start using that even before you graduate. I've seen that work. Going along with that, I would say networking, networking. So call on your networks, and make sure you're able to keep in touch. Even even myself, I remember one of my rotations, the residency director, who was my preceptor, he was a great guy. However, the person that I connected with more was the pharmacy director there, who I still keep up with till this day, you know, and really has become a mentor. He wasn't even my preceptor, but this guy was, you know, just really, really, really great. And so networking is an amazing way to get into a job, get a hospital. A lot of times people, you know, and you hear the saying, it's not what you know as much as it is who you know. And that is true. Pharmacy is a very small profession. It's very small, as in people know each other. And so, hey, you went to this school, you worked at this place for this long. It takes 1 or 2 phone calls, and I can figure out um, people who know you, people who've worked with you. And working is a great way to be able to get a job and know about opportunities. A lot of times you would be surprised, before positions are even posted, people know that they're going to be posted. You know who's going to be going on maternity leave. You know who's going to be retiring, you know, things like that. And so people know, and people can start putting a word in for you if they know that you're looking for a job and things like that. And really, it is much, much more who you know as opposed to what you know when it comes to really landing a good job. My first job coming out of pharmacy school in retail, I was applying and applying and applying and applying and applying, not really getting anywhere. And a friend of mine, he called me one day. I just finished taking I think I had taken the law exam, MPJE here, and he called me. I hadn't even gotten the results yet. And he's like, hey man, how's it going? And I'm like, hey, I'm just applying for jobs. I'm not hearing anything back. And he was like, hey, you know what? Here's the number to my manager at the store, at the pharmacy. Give him a call. Tell him that you've already taken your exam, just waiting to get the scores up, and that you're looking for a job. You're ready to work. I did, and that's literally how I got my first job, because of my friend, and just him literally giving me the cell phone number of his district manager. So yes, networking. One of my friends met someone at mid-year. They met a program director at mid-year, and that's how she got her job. You know, it really is who you know. It really is, you know. And going off of that, still in the whole networking gig, join your local ASHP chapter organizations. If you want to get into a hospital, join that organization and network with those people. A lot of the people that are there are your, you know, pharmacy directors, they're your residency directors, people that work in hospitals, just clinical pharmacists, staff pharmacists, whatever. Get involved, join them, and take it from there, really. But that's one way to really get involved. And you know, a lot of times it's they don't care if you already are working at a hospital or not. Like, you can still join them. You can still go to their meetings, go to their CE dinners, things like that, and they will definitely accept you. You know, don't feel out of place because you're not already in a hospital. Just go and join them and build your networks. Another part of networking, LinkedIn. If you don't have one, I would suggest getting on LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn is a good way to really build that network in a way. I've had people reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, asking if if I have positions available. Even lately, I've had a lot of vendors reach out to me, asking, telling me about their products, things like that. People trying to sell N95s and masks and all this stuff. Yeah, networking. Networking. That is the name of the game today. Those are my best tips for that. And I have a few more. I have a few more tips on even how to get into a hospital that I will share in my next video. In the second episode of this, like, comment, subscribe, and drop a question. Drop a question that you'd like to ask. Again, this is open to everyone in healthcare. I'm a pharmacist, and so that's probably what I can help with, but I work in a hospital, so I can answer things about hospital administration to a certain degree, and especially just, pharmacy. But yeah, let's hear from you. Drop a line, drop a question, drop a comment, and we will continue this. I'll continue this, given the rest of the tips that I have, that I've used, that I've given to people. I'll tell you how I got my first job in a hospital on the next episode. Thank you.